Working for you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Williams.
Good afternoon, sir.
And good afternoon, my king.
Yes, sir. How are we doing?
This is your local manager, your number one fan and manager.
Yes,
Carl Brownie.
Yes.
And good afternoon to the listening public. The king.
Yes.
I used to put forth this point to the former government, and I'm now throwing it out to the unity government. We need constituency councils. You know why, sir? Because the government ministers seems, like the last government, seems to be too busy. We having very little town hall meetings, very little one-on-one. You know, the constituents need to see them in these town hall meetings to put out the grievances, the concerns, the ideas and suggestions of how to make the country and the communities better, and what projects and plans they would like to see happen in the community and the constituency. Community council must be put in place. It is a very good idea, because the people in the community, while the ministers and the peers and all those people, managers and all those people are so busy, you can call meetings, sit with your community councils, give them your ideas and your suggestions. They can then at times invite the minister to sit in on these meetings to hear what the constituents are saying. They cry the concerns, the ideas and suggestions, and also the praise for what the ministers are doing in their constituency and community. Right?
Yes.
And then the government would be able to move much faster, much better. The community would be working along with the government, but these governments seem to like to hear the cry to say, I can't see my minister, I cannot get to talk to my minister. It is sickening. You're not supposed to be hearing that. So please, folks, put constituency councils in place. And listen,
okay.
they work for the government, for the constituency, and for the people. Not only that, it also helps to keep the crime rate low in the constituencies, because the constituency, as they like to say, the few bad ones or the few misguided ones would know that there are programs and there are people in place and are watching and looking on to see what is happening. And it will help to keep the crime rate low.
Okay.
It will help to work with the police and everybody involved. So, I would like to see these things put in place, and I want to stop hearing the cry of I am not seeing the minister, I am not hearing from the minister is not answering his phone or her phone, and it is sickening.
Okay, Carl.
That's me boy.
Okay. Now let me say something about that, and Carl made a good point. And it ought to be a part of my presentation, because forming, and he used the word councils, and sometimes he would want to use the word village enhancement teams. I mean, whichever, but village enhancement teams is a thrust that we are going to engage in. And I must say that the department before, the constituency empowerment before the change of administration, they would have started some work on that.
Okay.
And I'm not saying, let me say that, I'm not saying that they did not do anything in that aspect of it, because of the evidence that they would have done some work within communities. So I don't want people to get it wrong that I'm saying they did not. They had started, and so there's some structure in place as to these councils throughout the islands, and I say island because I don't know about Nevis.
Right.
But they have started the process. It's a good idea that you have these councils so that they can interact with and be in on the decision making process. So that is something that we'll be doing at our department.
Working for you. Good afternoon.
Is this big guy?
Good afternoon.
Everything pretty?
Everything pretty, sir. How are we doing?
Not bad at all.
How is New York?
You say you on the community development. That's what you say, Bojan?
No, I'm the director of the People Empowerment Department.
Oh, okay. Well, if Timothy is willing to lend you his ear, why you guys don't make some arrangements to be sending back some of these old cars that is all about the place to the Japanese boat that coming in there and clean up the place?
Yes. And that is a good idea. Somebody could be empowered that way to make some monies.
Okay, well, could you pass that on to me, get with all these old cars around the place and sell them back to the Japanese boat that coming in there?
That is something we could look at. I mean, the logistics would have to be worked out. But,
Well, the ball is in your court.
yeah, but I'll get in touch with you and flesh out that with you and see what happened. I have a caller from New York there. So, now, you realize that people recognizing where we're going with this people empowerment, community involvement, community activism, volunteerism. These are some of the things that we want. So I want people not to say government. When you start to do things, and the department is here to help you, to create your groups and so forth, you'll find it easier. And when you start to do things, then you will get the assistance that you need, and we don't have to just sit back and wait on and government to do this and government to do that. My department, representing the government, is going to ensure that each community get at least one active group. It could be more. We're not forcing you to go in a particular group. So we can have several groups. And once you start to put things together and put things in place, we would be willing to help in whichever shape or form we can help, so that we can have a better community, a more informed community, a safer community, and people would feel a sense of belonging.
Yes. Now, what are some of the activities that you plan to have organized by the department to empower communities?
Well, and not exhaustive. There are so many things that we can do. Community empowerment fairs. A fair. You have,
Fairs,
yeah.
yes.
And not a fair like no, but fairs. And here people can showcase, because what it is, if you get people involved, the underprivileged or the people who are, involved in,
Yes.
we get them to be creative. We can have a showcase where they can have their talents, their products on display, and maybe can just get a market. So fairs throughout the countries. We have town hall meetings, quarterly. I think quarterly is good. Monthly is a bit too often maybe, but if there's a need, but quarterly, have meetings where you can bring in people with different expertise,
Right.
to speak to people within the communities. If there's a crime issue, we bring in the Commissioner of Police. Right now we have a new Commissioner of Police. We can organize to have him introduce himself, let him know what he's expecting and so forth, what he stands for. And so town hall meetings. We could have leadership award, people involved in activities within the Molyneux area, the Sadlers area. People would have done things. You recognize them for the good work that they would have done. So you have an awards ceremony and so forth. And whatever we can give and organize, you can have that. So you can have these activities. We could have collaboration, continuous interface between the permanent secretaries, liaison officers who manage the communities, the community center, the management team, and all these people can meet regularly. Because Hong's made a point. We want to encourage community activity, but the community centers must be operational. They must be in good standing. So we have to look out at fixing these things too.
Working for you, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. William,
Good afternoon, sir.
and good afternoon, Mr. Watley.
Good afternoon, sir.
Mr. Watley, you're speaking about empowerment, right?
Yes.
But how many of us want to go the extra mile?
Well, we have to.
We have to.
We have to. It's a need. It's not a want or it's a need. We need to.
Yeah, we need to, but we have community centers. And when you open the community centers for people to come in to speak exactly what they want to do for the community, you're not seeing half of them. So then the community is just there, openly, waiting on people to come, and next thing else, and you just have to close it up.
Yeah.
Quite agree, the empowerment is very good. We have to go the extra mile to get things done. We put too much blame on the emphasis of the ministers in government, which we have to remember the ministers in government have a job to do, and they have to do it in the best of their ability. And we cannot be getting down on them all the time. We're not seeing the ministers and we're not seeing them, because remember, we put them there to do our affairs, and if they do not do it, we have to move them. But you now have a job as the empowerment minister. You're supposed to go around and see what's wanted, and then let us know exactly what can be done and what cannot be done. Because you have the environment come on every Tuesday at Fort Thomas Road. But when you look at after they done cleaning, the road still mess up. By whom? The same people in the community.
So well, and you're correct that we ought to be engaged in dialogue with the
We
people in the
have to.
community and show them the good things that could come out of their taking responsibility for their actions.
They
And
had
so-
a sewing class down at the Elton School for the young ladies them to come and learn to do sewing. About 2 weeks, down there was full. But after the pay just started to get, I just don't know what happened. People don't want to do sewing. People don't want to do this. People don't want to do that. But I asked them, oh, they want to see a government, a minister government. They want to see a minister government. They have to do it themselves to get along. The empowerment means you have to do something for yourself, for somebody to help you.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
if you do not do it, who's going to help you?
Yeah.
You can't depend on a minister in government. You have to depend on your own self.
All
Okay,
caller.
thank you, caller.
Have a pleasant good afternoon and keep up the program.
You too. Thank you.